Hey y'all, hi. Today I'm going to be showing you how I got this makeup look, which I'm really excited about. I couldn't be happier with how it came out. Can't stop looking at myself. I'm going to show you how I got my face to look like this using exclusively extremely affordable products. They're all from the brand e.l.f. e.l.f. is, get ready, sponsoring this video. I know, can't take it. I really love certain products from this brand, and for this video I got to try a whole bunch of products, and among them I found some real gems, and those are the products I'm going to be showing you today. If this is your first time to my channel, then welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Hannah. I love makeup, but I used to have a problem overspending on makeup. So these days budgeting is really important to me. Sometimes that means buying less. Sometimes that means seeking out really good makeup that is at drugstore prices, and that's what this video is about. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will subscribe. And now let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. I'm going to start with my base makeup. A lot of you have been asking me to try the acne fighting putty primer, but actually today I started by priming my skin with a skincare product that e.l.f. sent me, the Holy Hydration Face Cream, which I have been enjoying using. So that's the first thing that I'll show you in the footage. Then I applied the acne fighting putty primer. I really like the regular e.l.f. putty primer, and I've been wanting to try the green one. I actually tried to buy it a couple of times at Ulta, like when I was there in store, and it was sold out every time that I went there. So I'm excited that they sent it to me as part of the box of products that I was testing for this video. And you'll see that it does do a little bit of color correcting, not a ton, but I always like anything that helps to neutralize the redness on my skin. And the finish, just as it is with the regular poreless putty primer, is gorgeous. Next up, probably the biggest surprise of this entire video, because I have never been able to wear a drugstore foundation or a CC cream. I've never found one with a shade range that went light enough for me, but I am able to wear the e.l.f. Camo CC cream. It's not as intensely neutral as my most pale and neutral concealers, but it's a very natural color on me, and it's very creamy and hydrating, which I love, and it's very full coverage, which I'm learning is something that I actually really like in a base product, because I can either put a thick layer on if I really want to blank out my skin, or I can sheer it out, especially if there's something emollient underneath it, like the poreless putty primer. I can sheer it out and get that really bouncy skin-like finish that I love, while still canceling out my redness and giving me like a nice clean surface from which to start. So that's what this does, and it takes like seconds. It is so quick to put it on. It's like the work of a moment. I'm gonna put the footage in like in real time. I'm not gonna speed it up so you can see what a short time it took me to get that initial layer on my skin. I then went back and I built it up a little bit on the sides of the face and a little bit underneath my eyes with the little side of the brush, like targeted concealer end of the brush. But even that didn't take very long, and I don't even think it was necessary, especially if I was wearing this like for every day. I mean, you know, this is a relatively polished look, so I went back in and I put on another layer. But if I were wearing this for a no makeup look, or even for a no makeup day, like no makeup on the rest of my face, I just wanted to cancel out my redness a little bit, I could just put it on like in under a minute, maybe even in under 30 seconds, especially with this fluffy brush. It has a bunch of skincare ingredients in it: niacinamide, peptides, hyaluronic acid. It feels good going on. I have just really looked forward to the part of my makeup routine every day where I put this on as I've been testing these products, and that's really surprised me. Again, I can't overstate how quickly it goes on and how well it works at doing the things that I want, like balancing out my redness, but without looking like a full face of makeup, like without looking too cakey. I don't know if I've had that experience very often in makeup. It's usually been a little bit more of a labored process for me to color correct and get like a nice base. And I definitely haven't had that experience with a drugstore product before. So this was a real surprise, and it's been a real treat. Sometimes I powder this and sometimes I don't. It's fine either way. Today I put just the teeniest touch of powder. I didn't want to put too much powder on it, but I like to put a little bit of powder like in my marionette lines and on the sides of my face when I'm going to be on camera. Okay, let's go back and talk about brows and eyes. So I primed my eyes today with the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer, which is a product that I've had for a while and I really, really like it. It's in the shade Rose, and I sometimes wear this just as a cream eyeshadow because I like the color so much. I put that on my eyes, I left it there to set, and then I went in and did my brows. I had a little bit of a strong hold brow gel in my brows, and I went in with an angled brush and this pomade from e.l.f. in the shade Medium Brown, which y'all, I am completely gaga for. I usually dye my eyebrows to darken them and make them a little bit ashier, but I've been trying to give them a little bit of a break lately. I've been going longer in between dye sessions. So when the dye fades, I have been going in with a little marker, like a little felt tipped marker to fill in my brows. And this has completely unseated that tool. I absolutely love this. You'll see when you look at the footage that it looks like I've barely used it, and that's because a little goes such a long way. I have to barely touch the brush into this, and then I get an amount that is absolutely perfect for filling in the middle of my brows. I like it because it's very pigmented, so I place that pigment sort of in the center of the brow, and then as I stroke through my brows with the brush and it starts to wear off of the brush, I'm able to go to like the tail of my brow and the front of my brow, and it feels like the product is adhering to the hairs, but not to my skin. And I love being able to manipulate the hairs and make them darker with the brush and push them into place without drawing onto my skin. This has just proven to be an amazing tool for me, and the color too is just spot on. It's one of my favorite discoveries of this entire experience. I've also been quite enjoying this eyeshadow palette, the Opposites Attract palette. This is an e.l.f. product that I've always wanted to try, so I'm really excited that I'm getting to know it. I'm particularly drawn to these two shades, Daring and Clever. One of them is sort of like a smoky, ruddy, warm shade, and the other is like a smoky, taupey, cool shade. The concept of this palette is like half cool tones and half warm tones, and I really, really like that because I actually like mixing warm and cool to get looks to be a little bit more grungy. And that's what I did today. I took Daring and Clever. I feel like they're sort of the counterparts to each other, but one is like the cool toned counterpart and one is like the warm toned. I used Daring more sort of like in the outer half of my eye and up on the brow bone, and used Clever more in the center of my eye. And I just feel like it gave my eye look that sort of mysterious, kind of smoky, glossy dimension that I love to have on my eyes. There's something about the combination of warm and cool. If you do it carefully and you don't mix it together too much and make it too muddy, there's something about it that makes a look to me very alluring. So I really like the concept of this palette. I also used this shade Low Key. It is a pretty low key shimmer. You know, it's like sort of a white with a pink flip, and it's pretty subtle, but it really did what I needed it to do in terms of blending these shadows out to my brow bone, and it gave the overall look a kind of editorial glossiness that I really like. I have been using this palette a lot to prepare for this video, and I've liked every look that I've come up with, but I think that the look that I got when I was filming today is actually my favorite. The black and the brown in this palette are also both excellent. I mixed them together to get some smokiness on my outer corner and my lower lash line. I love a palette that has in it both a black and a brown. Next up, we have another one of my absolute favorite discoveries. I have been so excited to tell you all about this. And I think this might be a new release from e.l.f. because I hadn't seen it before, the Big Mood mascara. This baby has swept in and blown out of the water every single drugstore mascara I have ever tried, and most of the high-end ones too. And it is sitting up there on the very top of the pedestal with like the handful of absolutely favorite Holy Grail mascaras of my entire life. I am so impressed by it. But you don't have to take my word for it, as LeVar Burton says, because you will see it in the footage. I mean, you will see these lashes. It's like it makes my lashes beefy. It's like the deep black, velvety, buildable, rich, thick lash that I love. It is very deep black. This is actually, they have like a regular black and then they have this one, which is pitch black. I only have this one, so I can't compare them, but it is one of the things I notice. It's just really dark and really rich and thick. I'm glad, y'all, that today is the day that it's finally time to film this video, because I've just been over here like chewing on the insides of my cheeks, biting my tongue, waiting to tell you how good I think that this mascara is. So if you have the same taste as I do in lashes, than this. For my cheeks, I didn't want to use my all-time favorite e.l.f. product, the e.l.f. Active Workout Ready Lip and Cheek Palette, because I believe it's been discontinued, but I was inspired by it to use a lip product on my cheeks because I like the color so much. It's like the kind of color that I really love for a blush. So this is a lipstick from e.l.f. that's called Creme, and it's got that milky pale quality that I do really like in a lip color, and I like this a lot as a lip color, and I have been wearing it. But I am always on the hunt for cream cheeks in this exact color. So pretty shortly after I opened it and started using it on my lips, I started using it on my cheeks as well, and I decided to demonstrate that for the video. So I mixed it with this really, really glossy liquid highlighter from e.l.f. And then I applied that mixture to my cheeks with this e.l.f. Putty blush brush, which weirdly, because there's so much lovely makeup here, weirdly, this is also one of my absolute favorite things to have come out of this experience. I think I just like how it has these super soft bristles at the tip, so I can get like a nice sheer application easily, or I can dig in more for a more intense application. And I also like how small it is, because I'm prone to get out of control with blush, and this allows me to have a more targeted application if I want that. And I kind of did want that today, because this is pretty intense shine that you get from that highlighter. And I was going for kind of a subtle cheek look. And then finally, lips. It was a little bit difficult to decide because there are two products that I have been loving from e.l.f. lately that are both lip products. One of them is this lipstick in the shade Nectar. Just look at it. It's that like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's got a ruddiness. It's got almost a touch of red, like it's a soft, unusual version of a red almost, especially on my very pale skin. But it's not too deep. It is like, for me, a deep red toned nude, like a brick nude almost. I find this to be a very sophisticated and alluring color, and I basically can't stop wearing it. I've been wearing this a lot on no makeup days, like no eye makeup, just brows, base, and this. And sometimes I even put this on my cheeks as a blush. But because my eye look developed into something relatively sultry today, I decided to go for the lighter option, which I love just as much, I think, as I do the lipstick in Nectar. This is the e.l.f. Lip Lacquer in the shade Mauve Glitz. The formula really adheres to the lips. It creates a nice layer, and then it has that slidey, slippy, almost gel-like finish to it. It clearly looks lovely. You know, it stays nice and shiny. I like that this is very neutral, but it just stays and stays and stays. And I've actually worn this for a couple of filming sessions lately, and it stays through the entire filming session and continues to look shiny. And that's great. That's very useful for me as someone who's up here filming and talking a lot. This is the kind of look that you are... Oh, Smidge just squeaked. Maybe she's... Smidge, what is it? Maybe she's reminding me that my look isn't finished until I've applied a little smidge. Yes, just what I needed. Just what the look needed. This is the kind of look that many of you, many a time, have asked me to recreate. Whenever I wear a look like this on camera, like glossy, clean skin, kind of a light, glossy cheek, glossy lips, and then eyes that have that sort of sheen. Whenever I combine all of those things together, the comments are full of people being like, please show us how you got this look. Please recreate this look. So I'm glad that I was able to do it today with such affordable products. I had better go and give this little smidge some attention. I actually think she's hungry, so I had actually better go and give this little smidge some wet food. But I want to thank e.l.f. again so much for sponsoring me to do this. It was really fun. And again, I'm really impressed by specifically like the makeup, the brow gel, the Camo CC cream. I mean, who would have thought out of everything? But all of it, as you saw, the lip products, all of it performed gorgeously. I mean, the whole experience has just been a treat. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this time. And I really, really hope that you are taking extra good care of yourself today so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.